Welcome back, everyone. Going to be getting into the sleepers, the fades, the value plays, and the shoulder shrug plays here for the Charles Schwab Challenge. Real quick, though, I'm going to do that recap of last week's coverage because it was pretty darn good. So last week for the shoulder shrug plays, we had Patrick Reed, Will Zatoris, Paul Casey, and Louis Oosthuizen as shoulder shrug plays. Those are the plays that you don't exactly want to go out of your way to play, but if you end up on them, you feel pretty good about your build. The worst finish out of that group was 17th by Patrick Reed. The rest of them were 8th, 4th, and 2nd. We're talking about sleepers. Those are more players that are more risky, but could provide some, upside. We saw it with Colin Morikawa, who finished 8th. But then from there, the risk didn't meet the reward. Matthew Fitzpatrick, 23rd. Brian Harman, miscut. Jason Kokrak, 49th place finish. So, that's why you just want to end up on those guys that are a little bit safer. And that's kind of why I always preach that, is that safety in fantasy golf is more the way to go. Talking about the fades last week, there's like 4 that I highlighted on the top and that, I was kind of just indirectly fading. That was Rory, Finau, Fleetwood, and Rose. So Rory and Fleetwood did not do well. Finau and Rose did do well. The reason I was indirectly fading them was because, there's better players in those price point ranges, and we saw that those players actually really went out and had good weeks for those players that were in those same price point ranges. But like the direct fades were Bubba Watson finished 80th, Matt Kuchar miscut, and then Patrick Cantlay actually played well, but once again was really fading him because there was a lot better players in his price point range. He finished 23rd. Then the value plays, Ryan Palmer missed the cut. Kind of was worried about him potentially being like the trap play that would miss the cut. And then Stuart Sink and Carlos Ortiz made the cut. Brendan Todd missed the cut. And then another value play that I ended up on later on in the week was Christian Bezuidenhout. He played pretty well. So overall, it's a good week. The good content continues. So if you guys have been enjoying this content, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the video channel. But we'll get into that fluff content this week because that's what it is. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm going to start off with the sleepers here for this week. Pulling it up here on the 9 to 5 cheat sheet instead of the regular kind of sheet that you guys are used to. So we'll click off of Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, and we'll actually pull up the first sleeper pick for me this week. I'm wondering if you guys can guess it. It's going to be Chris Kirk here, guys. So Chris Kirk, to me, I really do like as a pick, but coming off of 2 missed cuts, you really don't want to be going out of your way to play him. And honestly, if you end up on him, you're not feeling that good about him as well. He's much more of a guy that, has high upside, but also does have some risk to him. We see that he's going to be a top 20 staff hit and ranks top 21 in the model. Just looking at course history, made cut last year, that was pretty good, especially for him last year personally, other than like the whole break. That was kind of his first real event back, too, just from his personal break as well. Had 11th place finish in 2018. Good stuff there with Chris Kirk. 3 made cuts, course history-wise. Overall, good staff fit. Coming off at 2 missed cuts, and that's why you just can't end up on him, overly. Much more of a better sleeper pick. And then another sleeper pick is going to be a higher price pick. That's going to be Jason Kokrak, so 9K. It's very tough to end up on Jason Kokrak given his price point, but he does rank out well. Ranks out top 13 in the model. Has been playing well, has good finishes here. 10 straight made cuts, top 10 staff hit. 10 straight made cuts, top 13 in the model. He is just a quality pick, but there's no way that I can play him over Neiman, Connors, Answer, Morikawa. It's just hard to end up on him at that current price point. So for me, much more of a sleeper pick, mostly just given his price point. Then another sleeper pick for me is going to be Ryan Palmer. So Ryan Palmer, guys, is coming off of a miscut. Before that, he had been on a cut streak, had one of the longest active cut streaks going on the PGA Tour. He is a top 20 staff hit, ranks top 27 in the model. Has had some mixed results here course history-wise. Miscut, 6th place finish, miscut, and then a 70th place finish, which sucks, obviously. So kind of mixed results there. So the upside is going to be there for Ryan Palmer, but he's not someone that we should be going crazy with. 10% of builds coming off of a miscut. Not the best course history, but has shown upside there. I expect him to bounce back, but he is at a price point that does make you a little bit worried there. And then kind of my favorite sleeper pick is going to be Troy Money Merritt. Yeah, I said it. Let's look at his recent starts here. So top 10, miscut, top 10. That's what we're really hanging our hat on. We're hanging the hat on the fact that he could go out and get a top 10 finish for us. That is what we're shooting for here. That is what we want to see. But that is it for the sleepers. Let's give you some shoulder shrug plays here, and then we'll get into the fades and value plays. So for shoulder shrug plays, I'll do it real quick here. It's going to be Patrick Reed, once again, he's just always on this list. You guys already know that. It's just he's always priced pretty well. I will say he is priced up a little bit too much, where I don't think that you should end up on him this week, but this should be a better course for him. Where strokes gained around the green matter a ton, he's going to be the player that you probably want to end up on the most. So here, just kind of real quick, touching on these shoulder shrug plays. So we got Patrick Reed, already kind of mentioned it. He's a guy that does play well around the green, good in par 4 scoring. Not someone you want to really go out of your way to play, but if you're really doing a studs and duds approach, it would make sense if you guys had the salary left over to be fine with ending up on him. But really, Brent Snedeker, I do like a lot. Top 15 in the model, has a 59% chance to make the cut, has played really well at this course in the past. Not exactly someone you're going out of your way to play, but in a week where we're naturally ending up on players in this price point range, he's a good lineup closer for you this week. Same thing with Russell Knox, Russell Knox casually been decent so far. Miscut last year at this event, but then an 8th and a 20th place finish. Top 30 staff hit, top 30 in the model. Decent recent form, 3 straight made cuts. That's pretty good. We'll take that. And then we're also going to be looking at Jonathan Vegas. So he has made 3 straight cuts in a row, 3 straight cuts at this event as well. Not the best staff hit, top 44. We'll take that though. We're good enough with that. Now we're going to get into the fades and the value plays. All right, so let's give this a second to load. So we're going to talk about the fades to start off with for this one. And now we're going to get into JT. So JT, I'm not actually like fading. It's more or less the fact that I can't end up on him. Just at that price point, I would much rather play Jordan, and I'd much rather play Morikawa. And, if we're just nitpicking, I think I'd rather play Patrick Reed, $700 cheaper. JT's not a bad play, but just given that price point, I do worry about him as a pick this week. It's tough to end up on him this week at that price point, and thus I'm kind of just naturally fading him. Like last week, I faded Rory just because the price point was too high. That's how I feel about JT this week. Now, another kind of higher price player that I'm going to be fading is going to be Daniel Berger. He actually ranks out as the second best staff hit this year, or this week. Top 18 in the model. His recent form has been kind of puzzling, just not all there with Daniel Berger. Made the cut last week, but didn't finish well and has just had some mixed cuts mixed in there. He's also going to be the defending champ, and typically speaking, defending champs at courses or at tournaments just have not had it this year. They haven't been able to produce. So for me, I'm going to be fading Daniel Berger. I'd much rather play Answer, Neiman, heck, even Will Zalatoris down there as well, Corey Connors. I'd much rather go with those plays. They seem safer and have just as much upside. Now we're going to be looking at Phil the Thrill, the PGA champion, Phil Mickelson. Normally I just don't like to play a player after a win, especially when it's going to be someone that has been very volatile for PGA DFS builds. That's going to be Phil Mickelson. What was it, Sunday? There was already, not Sunday, I think it was Monday night. There's already a video going around of him drinking some wine by the pool, as he should be, but you got to be naturally thinking that he's not going to have it already, all mentally focused there for this week. Now he could like, this could string together some good golf for him, knowing that he was able to do it, because that's kind of been what has been holding him back, is the fact that he's had a lot of great low rounds going. He just has a few bad holes that really unravel everything. So this could have been the event that really ties his whole game in together, and he just puts together a good stretch of golf. For me personally, I just don't want to play him coming off of that win and kind of the way it was, the emotional ride that it was. I'm sure that this is going to be a letdown spot for him. And then the last fade I'm going to go with is actually going to be an ownership fade. We got Emiliano Grillo here, looking like he's going to be about 20% owned so far. I like Emiliano Grillo as a play, and I always say ownership does not matter. You should not make lineup decisions based on ownership. But if you are making, like, I don't know, 2 builds, especially like a main build, Grillo is a little bit too risky to be 20% owned. That's really been the theme of DFS this year. I'm not saying he's a bad pick. He can easily go out and get a top 10 finish. Heck, he has some pretty good course history. Miscut in 2020, and then 3 straight top 25 finishes. That is pretty good. Top 30 staff hit is horrible around the green. Not the best in par 4 scoring as well, but he does rank out top 12 in the model. We can see he's been like risk reward really this whole year, and I do love him for GPPs. But the fact that he's getting 20% ownership on Tuesday, that does worry me. And once again, ownership does not matter. It just doesn't. When you're making low amounts of builds, 1 to 20 builds, ownership shouldn't matter to you. If you're doing 150 max lineups, then it starts to play a difference. for main build purposes, I just don't think that you should end up on Grillo. And then real quickly, getting into the fades here, or getting into the value plays, just to pull it up here for you guys. We're going to sort by salary. We're going to bring in those fades, or bring in those value plays. You know, really, there's only two that are standing out to me. Let's see. Players that are going to have a 50% or more chance to make the cut this week. We'll go 49. Be generous because there's not that many quality picks. So I actually really do like Michael Thompson and Cameron Champ. You guys already saw that probably on the core plays video, but I want to echo Michael Thompson a little bit more. You know, casually ranking out pretty well, has decent course history here, guys. Been in decent recent form. You know, has some missed cuts mixed in there, but overall has been a good pick. Just at 6.6. I'm good with it. I can take that. And then kind of the same thing for Brian Stewart here. You know, 4 straight make cuts at this course. Top 52 stat fit, which tells me that he should be right around a make cut, but top 40 in the model, which kind of shifts it a little bit more towards a make cut. So Brian Stewart, I don't mind. Denny McCarthy, I also don't mind. Kind of just a safer pick, he kind of feels like, for Denny McCarthy. He should be right around the cut line. Now, obviously, you're hoping that he does make the cut, but in a week like this where more of the short game is going to matter, Denny McCarthy should get a little bit of a bump there, and I like him a little bit more then. And then just pulling up Vincent Whaley. You guys already know that this was coming. Vincent Whaley, top 12 in recent form, 9 straight make cuts. They've all been like top 35 finishes or better. We just really don't get this price point from DraftKings. It's going to be a quality pick for you guys this week. But that is all I have for you guys for the fluff, fantasy golf fluff, the sleepers, the shoulder shrugs, the values, and the fades. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. If you guys want to join 95 Nation, the link is in the description below. All right, thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.